Good morning to everybody. In today's video, I will show to you how to build a data center infrastructure lab using EVE-NG. I am Anthony De Los Santos, and I will demonstrate to you the complete data center infrastructure configuration using EVE-NG. In this video, you will learn how to set up a 3-tier network infrastructure, configure the core switch, distribution, and access switch. We will install also internet router for our internet access. We will install also Palo Alto that will serve as our internet firewall. We will install also Cisco Prime for our SNMP, ICE for our authentication server for our login to our switches and other devices. On the data center side, we will install Cisco Power Firewall and also Cisco Nexus and Cisco UCS Fiber Interconnect and VMware Server. This is the topology. I will connect to the internet with the internet router with two firewall, Palo Alto firewall, core switch, distribution, access switch, and then the Cisco Prime and ICE. On the data center side, we will install another switch which connected the firewall, the Cisco FTD, and then Nexus, Cisco UCS Fiber Interconnect, and server farm using VMware EXSI, and then we'll inside of it we'll install Windows Server for our DHCP server, DNS, and domain server. So in the part 1 we will configure the core switch, distribution, and access switch. So let's dive to the configuration. So as you can see, I have here the EVE-NG, and then here this one is, as you can see, this PC is this one on the side. Okay, I prepare already the configuration on the left and the PATI on the right. So we'll turn on the core switch. Okay, so first thing we have to do is to set up the telnet so that this PC can communicate with the core, and then we will cut and paste the configuration so that we will be passed. Okay, so I will double click the core, then I connect. So again, and the core now is empty. So first we have to create a username. Okay, config t username Cisco privilege 15 password Cisco, and then we will configure this Ethernet 0/0. Okay, um, interface Ethernet 0/0, no switch port, IP address 192.168.1.1, then 255.255.255.0, and then after that we will configure the line BTY. So line BTY 0/4, and then we'll say transport input telnet, and then login local. Okay, now the telnet is set up. We'll go back to the PC, and then we will telnet the core switch. So 192.168.1.1, and then connect. Okay, so it will ask the username and password Cisco. Password is Cisco, and then I will make it bigger the font so that you can see it clearly. So chain settings, appearance, chains, I will make it 14, and then the colors I will put it to white so that it's easy to see. So now the first thing we have to do is to change the host name of the core switch. So Control C. So core switch NAS is on new host name. We'll create all the VLANs that we needed. Okay. So we need a management VLAN 2, uh, VLAN 3 for management of the firewall, VLAN 5 for the inside firewall interface, and also the DMC. So I will copy this, then paste. So we're done. We're done with the VLAN. Okay. I'll just put this little bit up so that you can see it because it cuts on the bottom. Okay. Next, I will adjust more. Okay. Next, we will we will add the DNS resolution IP address, Control C, and then we will configure the port. So in this port, as you can see, all the ports has description so that it's easy to you to see which port I am configuring. As you can see, VLAN 1112, I interface Ethernet 111213. This is this side, and then the second one is 313233 is this side, and then we have a trunk downstream to distribution, which is 1.0. So we'll start it to configure it. So I put the 0/2 in case I will put a PC to test. So, but I will copy this from 2 until 3.3. Okay, Control C, then paste. So our port are done. Okay, next we will create uh, no, I will constant to distribution 1.0. Okay, I have a wrong here. I create it again here. Yeah, this is a double 1.0 1.0. Yeah, it's a double configuration. No need for this. So we'll create the interface VLAN because we will using SVIs. Okay, paste interface VLAN is done. Then I will create the IP route. So the first route is going to the internet, which is 7.2, which is 70.70.10.70.5.2. So this one inside interface. So any traffic from this one, it should go on this firewall. Okay. So and the second one is the return traffic. Any traffic from the internet going down, it should be going to 7.10.70.2.3, which is this one. Okay. So I will just copy this and then paste it. So we're done with the core switch. So the next configuration will configure the distribution. So by the way, I will show you the show running config so that you can see how we configure. Okay, so for your reference. Okay, so the interface VLAN is still not yet up. As you can see here, the interface VLAN is shut down. So we will shut it. I will unshut that one. Config D VLAN 2 interface VLAN 2 no shut interface VLAN 3 no shut interface VLAN 5 no shut and interface VLAN 6 no shut no shut. So as you can see, show running config. So from the top, IPDNS, username and password. The ports are already configured. The interface VLAN are configured. The IP route is configured. So we'll save the core switch. So the next thing we'll configure is the distribution. So what I will do, I will move this PC going to distribution and then telnet the distribution. Okay, we'll continue. We'll configure now the distribution switch. So we'll telnet the distribution switch. So 192.168.1.1 connect. Username Cisco, password Cisco. I will adjust the appearance change, let's 14. Then the color will be this one. Okay. Okay. Now, first we have to change the host name of the switch. Control C. We're done. and then we will create the VLAN. So on the distribution, the VLAN for access switches will be created also, and also the switch management VLAN. So and then we will add the DNS server, DNS resolution IP, and then we will create a trunk going to core switch, which is Ethernet 0/0, and then we will create a trunk going to the IT switch and also the HR switch. So 3 trunks we will create. Control C, then we'll paste it here. So trunks are finished, and then we need to create the interface VLAN for management, interface VLAN for the switch, and interface VLAN for HR switch. Okay. So because on the distribution, we want that if between access switch, they can route to each other using distribution. It will go the packet to the core switch if it is going to the internet or going to the data center. Okay, so Control C, paste, and then we'll create a default route from this distribution going to the core. In real device, you don't need to do this because you can use the IP default gateway and it will work. But the problem with this iOS on the lab, it doesn't work, so I need to use the IP route. Okay, so we're done. Show running config. So name server, the trunks, so on all the trunks, the interface VLANs, the route, but the interface VLAN is still down, so we need to unshut. Okay, so config t interface VLAN 2 no shut, interface VLAN 50 no shut, interface VLAN 51 no shut. So we're done. Then we will save. Okay, right. To test, you can test now ping 10.70.2.1, which is the core switch. As you can see, both of them are can see to each other. So in the next what I will do, I will move this PC to IT access switch so that we can configure as well. Okay, now we will configure the access switch. I move already the PC here, and then we will telnet. Okay, this PC. Then I already log into the telnet. Okay, we are on the step 3. Okay, so username is Cisco, password is Cisco. First, we have to change the host name. And then next, we need to create the management VLAN and IT VLAN. Then we need to add the DNS. Then we need to create a trunk from Ethernet 0/0 going to Ethernet 0/1 of the distribution switch. There's an error because already connected the telnet on this port, so don't worry about that. Sorry. So next, we'll create the interface VLAN. Interface VLAN, and then we need to create the default route. Let's see. And that's it. That's for the IT, but we need to unshut the interface VLAN 2 so that we can ping the distribution and the core. Okay, interface VLAN 2, VLAN 2, no shut. Then we will try to ping 10 dot this is the IP address of the distribution 10.8 1072.3 1070.2.3, so it's switchable, and the core is 2.1 is switchable also. So we will the last one is we will configure the HR switch. It's almost the same process with this IT switch, but I will show you also, no problem. Okay, now we'll configure the HR switch. Okay, I already log in. I telnet already, so I will just change the host name. HR switch. Let's see. And then we'll create the VLAN. Control C. We'll create the trunk between the distribution and HR switch. And then we will create the interface VLAN for switch management. And then we'll add the route. We need only one route. Okay, this one. Then exit, and then we'll unshut the interface VLAN 2, no shut, and then we'll try to ping 10.70.2.3, so it's switchable from this piece. This switch going to here is switchable. Now we'll ping from here going to the core, which is 2.1. So it's switchable also. Now we're done on core distribution access switches. We'll configure this internet layer 2 switches. So the configuration is, we'll just double click this so that we can see. So I will configure this. This is a layer 2 only. We need to create only a VLAN 1, VLAN 100. Config T, uh, config T. Uh, so first we'll change the host name. Config T, en config T, host name L2 internet switch. Okay, then we'll create a VLAN 100, name L2 VLAN. Then after that we'll make all the switch port to access VLAN 100. Okay, exit, show running config. So we need this 0.0, 0.1, and 0.2 in one VLAN so that they can see to each other, because all the packet will pass on in this switch going to the internet router. So config T, interface range Ethernet 0/0 to 3, switch port mode access, switch mode access VLAN 100, then no shut, then exit, show run and config, so everything is fine. Okay, then we'll save. Next we'll configure the internet router. Okay, for the internet router, so enter internet router. So we'll press no. Okay, first we will add the we'll change the host name, config en, config t hostname internet r1. Okay, then we'll put IP name server 192.168.100.1, which is my house modem, and also IP name server. I will add the Google 8.8.8.8 for DNS resolution, and then we'll configure the Ethernet show/1. This one, in config interface Ethernet 0/1 Ethernet gigabit 0/1. This one will be our IP address 192.168.1.1.255.255.0. IP NAT inside. Then next we will configure the 1/0, which is going to my modem, gigabit 0/3. Okay, uh, I'll just put it up. Okay, gigabit 0/3, IP address 192.168.100.150.0. IP NAT outside, and then we need to create an access list 1 permit any. Okay, and then we need to create the overload. So IP NAT inside list 1 interface, IP NAT inside source list 1 interface gigabit 0/3, which is this one, and then we'll say overload. Okay, and then we need to create also a IP route. So IP route 0.0.0, then forward to 192.168.100.1, which is the ISP that, then press enter. And then for the return traffic, you should create also IP route. Any packet going to 1070.2.0. Okay, then 255.255.255.0, 192.168.1.2, which is this one, the port on the firewall. So any traffic going from the internet, the return traffic, it will go to the firewall. Okay, the outside interface, and then it will go on the inside. Okay, so as you can see, the route also is uh, going 1.2, so it's correct. So uh, let's check. Show running config. Show running config. Okay, the ports is shut down. We'll unshut config interface gigabit 0/1, no shut, and then also the 0/3, no shut. Now we'll test if there's a internet. So ping 8.8.8.8. As you can see, it is working. Ping google.com. So it is working. So I will save it. Also this one, I will save it. Alright. So we finish everything, all the switches, everything is finished. So the remaining will be the Palo Alto firewall so that we can browse the internet from the access layer switches from the PC going to the internet. So we will configure first the Palo Alto on the next video, on the part 2, the high availability first, and then the configuration of the port. Thank you so much. Please subscribe in my channel and see the next video.